The key to transformation and change in yourself is determination, discipline, and patience. We're way too strict with ourselves. We think that if one day we slip and we have a cheesecake, that's it. We've ruined everything. Hi ladies, I'm Natalia from Rebelle, and I hope you're having a beautiful day today. If you want to feel confident in your body and you want to get the best results from your fitness training, it's absolutely essential to eat well and follow a healthy diet. But I do know that that's much easier said than done. The number of times that I have said that I would start eating healthier, that I would learn new healthy recipes and actually apply and stick to them, and that I just went back to my old eating habits. I think that was largely due to the fact that on the one hand, my strategies were way too drastic, or I was way too strict with my diets. We're kind of led to believe that a diet needs to be super strict. You have to count the calories, you have to have no carbs, you have to starve yourself. And in the end, what ended up happening to me, and I believe happens to a lot of people, is that your willpower ends up giving in a little bit and you end up going a little crazy. This is why my diet advice is not based on starving on salad and these crazy no-carb diets. What I recommend is truly a balanced diet, because that's what your body really needs. And that's also what will be way more sustainable in the long term. If you want to know more about the basics of nutrition and how to get the most, truly the most out of your training, check out my video that I made on the basics of nutrition that I've linked up on the screen now. Okay, let's get into the top 10 nutrition tips that will actually make a difference and that will actually be realistic in the long term. So my first tip is to avoid carbs at night. You've probably heard many versions of this, like have a light dinner, don't eat too late, have soup for dinner. And it is true that having a lot of carbs at night right before you're about to sleep and not spend many calories overnight is not a great idea. Overnight, what will happen is that your body will slowly release calories from the carbs that you ate over dinner, and that's just going to accumulate since you're not actually spending many calories. So for this reason, I would say avoid carbs at night, and if you really do want some carbs, keep it to a minimum. There is one exception to this rule though, which is that if you train at night, when you come home from your training, you should have a small portion of carbs so that you can help your body process the proteins and therefore help your muscles recover. My second tip is don't necessarily avoid snacks. I have definitely been told many times not to snack between meals. And it is true that snacking is a bad habit. It deregulates your body and it stocks fat. However, what we tend to forget as well is that snacking also helps to reduce our portions during our meals, which can actually be a really great way to reduce your meal quantities. Of course, that being said, your snack should be healthy. The best snack would be, for example, a fruit. My favorite is having an apple mid-morning. That gives me the energy to get through my morning and also gives me the energy for the rest of my day. Number 3 is avoid foods that fool you. Many foods at the grocery store are currently branded as being great for your health, being great to accompany your fitness and your training, and supposedly high in protein and will help you lose fat. But a lot of the time this is false. These are often not actually that healthy. They're often filled, and I mean filled with sugar, which is definitely a no-go. And often also have other ingredients in them that are actually very artificial and not so good for our health. So the next time you want to buy one of these supposedly healthy snacks, check the nutrition information. Check the amount of sugar that there is for 100 grams. And I say for 100 grams because I've been fooled before to think that a product does not have much sugar. But in fact, it's only showing you the portion of sugar for 30 grams, which often is barely anything. I would also advise you to quickly give a glimpse to the ingredients and check that there isn't any added artificial items that may harm your health. Number 4 is allow yourself a cheat meal per week. So the issue with adapting to a healthier diet is often that it's hard to sustain in the long term. And generally the cause of that is that we're way too strict with ourselves. We think that if one day we slip and we have a cheesecake, that's it. we've ruined everything. And the worst thing is after that, instead of just going back to our healthy diet, we think, well, what's the point now? I ruined it anyway. I had that cheesecake yesterday. When in fact, it's okay. It's normal that we're not always going to sustain 100% willpower and eat exactly all the right ingredients. So if you allow yourself one cheat meal per week, you'll know that that day, that thing that you've been craving all week, you can have it. And that will also help you sustain your healthy diet for the rest of the week, knowing that. And it'll also allow you to keep having a healthy diet beyond that cheat meal time. Number 5 is do not skip meals. I have definitely committed this mistake many times in the past. When I've been trying to either lose weight or control my weight, I would think that skipping a meal meant that, well, I wasn't consuming the calories of that meal and hence I would lose weight. And although, yes, I was consuming the calories of that meal, what it eventually leads you to do is either have a much bigger portion at your next meal, which is definitely not a good thing, or it caused me to snack much more regularly, which completely deregulated my eating habits, which is also not good as it causes you to stock more fat. Number 6 is avoid sauces and go for spices instead. A lot of pre-made sauces like ketchup, mayo, tartar sauce, spicy sauces, salad dressings, all of these tend to have a lot of sugar or fat, or even both at times. So definitely avoid these, and instead, if you want to spice up your meal and make it a little more interesting, add in some spices. Paprika, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, and many more are really good spices to season your recipes and make them a lot more tasty. Having said that though, definitely avoid the spice mixes that you find in grocery stores because they often have lots of sugar and salt in them. Number 7 is find recipes you like. Unfortunately, many of us associate eating healthy with an unpleasant moment, something that we have to force ourselves to do. And if you're like me and you love eating and you love great food, that's a little sad and restrictive. In fact, there are loads and loads of healthy recipes that you can do that are actually full of taste. And depending on your taste, you should really be able to enjoy your diet because you're much more likely to actually maintain it in the long run. And it'll also be a much more pleasant experience. It's really not that hard. Do your research, find recipes with food items that you really like, and incorporate them in your weekly diet. Number 8 is organization is key. I really believe that organization is essential in my eating habits. And that's because when I plan my weekly meals in advance, I go to the grocery store and I buy those specific ingredients for those meals. On the one hand, it means that now I'm kind of stuck with those healthy ingredients and it's either I eat healthy or I eat healthy. And 2, it's actually great because it means that you're not at a certain point in the week where you ran out of food, you don't know what to have. And what ends up happening is you go for the easy option, which is to eat out or order out or get a delivery. And oftentimes eating in restaurants can be really fatty and not the most healthy. So instead, plan for your meals and cook in big batches so that you can keep them in Tupperware for various meals and take them with you to work so that you avoid eating out. And plus you can also save some money. This leads me to my next point, which is avoid eating out. Although eating out can be extremely tempting and you may think you're going for a healthier option, they tend to add a lot of sugar and salt and sauces to a lot of foods, which are not very good for your health. Also, even if you do choose the healthier option, you will probably be tempted by your friends ordering the massive burger with fries. So definitely avoid eating out, and if you do, keep it for your cheat meal. Number 10 is do not change all your habits in one go. A lot of us tend to think that with big changes like this in our lives, that if we don't do it the whole way through in one go, that we're being lazy and we're not actually doing what we say we're gonna do. But in fact, this can really backfire. If you drastically change all of your habits in one go, what will likely happen is 1, it will not be sustainable in the long term, but also 2, your body may actually not take that very well. So what I advise is to progressively incorporate new habits that you want to implement in your life, because chances are you'll actually be able to maintain those, and it will actually be much better for your body to slowly adapt to these new ingredients and new nutrients that you will be feeding it. So I just want to end this video with one last important point, which is that the key to transformation and change in yourself is determination, discipline, and patience. results are not going to happen from one day to the next. It's really just efforts and dedication day in and day out that will really lead you to be the person and have the body that you are looking to have. But enjoy the process. If you really choose healthy meals that you actually enjoy, that you actually look forward to, the process will be much more enjoyable and chances are you'll really stick to it. Don't weigh yourself every day because it's not a process about day-to-day change. It's a process about a more global change. And day-to-day weight fluctuations often do not reflect that and can be very discouraging when it's not actually the true message. And besides, if you're watching this video, chances are you're already super interested in leading a healthier lifestyle and training and having a better nutrition. So that's already half of the job. Do not be too hard on yourself. Do not forget to enjoy the journey and love yourself along the way. Stay tuned for the next videos on fitness and nutrition to help you achieve the body that you will feel confident in. Stay healthy and stay strong, ladies.